Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me for a yoga practice today. Go ahead and get yourself seated and comfortable. Come into an easy seat. It can be cross-legged or in hero's pose. And then when you find your comfortable seat, go ahead and close the eyes. Start to draw your awareness inward. Feel the breath moving through the nose. A gentle inhale and a gentle exhale. And then bring in that Ujjayi breath, so slight constriction at the back of the throat, so that the exhale becomes slightly audible, like a whisper. Let the sit bones sink down to the earth as you keep working with your Ujjayi breath, heavy in the pelvis. And let your spine move in the opposite direction, so lifting up through the crown, lengthening the spine. Maybe giving yourself a slight pause at the top and the bottom of the breath. Expanding through the belly, through the rib cage, back of the body, all the way up through the chest. Deep, full inhales and exhales. And then bring your awareness to the navel center and about 2 inches below the navel. And we'll begin with our hands in prayer position, palms together, thumbs gently pressing against the sternum. And we'll start with a 3-part Om. So on this first round, we'll just do the syllable Ah. So again, bring your awareness to that point just below the navel. Take one more inhale. Gently exhale. And inhale for chant. Now draw the awareness up to the heart center, and we'll do 3 rounds of the sound Ooh. Exhale out all the breath. Inhale for chant. Ooh. Now bring the awareness up to the third eye center, that point between the eyebrows, slightly above. And we'll chant the sound Exhale out all the breath. Inhale for chant. Let those sounds settle around you. Go ahead and release the hands and slowly open the eyes. And we'll start out today just lying on our backs. Take a moment and draw your knees into the chest and away. Rocking back and forth on the sacrum, warming up the spine. And then bring the feet up towards the ceiling, straightening out the legs. And then bring the hands up and overhead, stretching out through the torso. Take an inhale, limbs extended, and then exhale, draw the knees to the chest, wrap the arms around the knees, strong through the core, and then inhale back to starting position, extend, exhale, draw everything in, super stable through the spine. Feeling keep going with your breath. Inhale to extend. Exhale to draw in. Feel the muscles around the torso and the rib cage really knitting in. It's like you're wrapping a corset around your core. Using the deep core abs. One more time. Exhale, draw the knees in and then pause there. And then bring your soles of your feet down to the mat and we'll shift over to one side. Keep the knees bent and come to rest on your left side. You can prop your head up on your left hand or have your head resting on the inner arm. And then look down at your legs and notice if your kneecaps are stacked. So grab hold of your top hip and bring your hip forward or back, however is needed for you to have an aligned pelvis here before we get started. And then draw in those deep core muscles as you inhale and separate the top knee from the bottom. We're doing these little clamshells. You could think of it like a clamshell. And then exhale slowly, as if you had a TheraBand working against gravity here, moving super slow. We'll go for 10 of these. So inhale, reach the top knee up towards the sky, and then exhale, close the clamshell. And keep an eye on your knees as you do this and see, because you might want to creep one knee forward or back, depending, and just keep reminding yourself to stack the knees. Move slowly with your breath and keep a stable pelvis. Waking up the glute muscles, waking up the hips. The slower you go with these, actually, the more sensation you might feel. And then the top leg is pressing strongly into the earth, grounding and stabilizing, allowing the top leg to open and close. And when you've done 10, go ahead and release, and then you can plant your top hand in front of you for stability, if that helps as well. And now we'll do the bottom part of the top leg. So inhale and lift the foot, keeping the knees glued together. And then exhale, slowly lower down. And we'll do 10 of these as well. Inhale, raise the foot up. Thighs and knees stay glued together. And again, notice if the knees are stacked or if your hips are rolling either too far forward or backward, as we have a tendency to do. See if you can keep calling on that Ujjayi breath here. And then once you've done your 10, go ahead and relax. And then shift yourself over, straighten the legs, and come onto your belly. Extend out through the arms. You can rest your forehead on the mat. Anchor the pubic bone, and then inhale, reach the right arm, left leg up towards the ceiling. Forehead stays on the mat, and then exhale, slowly lower down. And then inhale, do the other side. Keep moving with your breath. Think about internally rotating your thigh as you come up, keeping the hips square, even as we lay here on the floor. If it feels all right with your head, you can back your head up and raise the head off the mat as well. But keep your gaze on the mat if you're doing that. Again, notice the core muscles. See if your core has gone to sleep, and remind your core to wake up and help you here. Help ease the control down as well as expand up and out. Nice job. And then rest. You can turn your head to one side and take a breath. And then gently roll yourself over to the other side. And we'll set up for the opposite side. So bend your knees, stack your hips. Notice one hip is rolling too far forward or back, and then when you're ready, glue your feet together. Inhale, top knee rolls up. Exhale, slowly lower down. Keep moving with your breath. Strengthening and stretching through the hip flexor as well as the glutes. And again, call in your core here. Make sure it hasn't gone to sleep, and think about wrapping the torso like a corset. Super stable. Especially that low belly. Draw the low belly in with exhale. And when you've done your 10, slowly lower down. And we'll do the bottom part of our lifts, this time with the foot. Knee and thigh glued together. As you come up on the inhale, raise your foot up high. And exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower. Keep breathing. Can you hear the exhale coming out of your throat gently like a whisper? Press down with your lower leg to help ground and stabilize, allowing the top leg to lift and lower a little bit more ease. And when you've done your 10, go ahead and relax, and then roll yourself slowly back to your belly. And then push yourself back for a child's pose, so hips towards the heels. You can have your hands out in front for extended child, or you can bring the backs of the hands to the mat, close to your feet. Take a breath here. Root down that forehead on the mat. You can shake your head left to right. That feels okay on your neck. Feel your breath moving through and into your back body. So puff up your back body here in child's pose. Nice. Then reach your hands out in front and we'll come up for a tabletop position. If you're on a hard surface, you can pad your knees with a blanket. We'll do a few knee things here, so if you have that, go ahead and grab it. And then come to tabletop, so wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. And bring some attention to your hands here. And really press down through the pad of your first and thumb finger. And then like you're twisting open a jar, start to twist, leaving the hands planted. Energetically feel like you're twisting a jar with both hands to really root into the hands. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift the tail, lift the chest, lift the gaze for cow. And then exhale, slowly tuck the tail, round through the spine for cat. Keep moving with your breath, a couple more. Really completing the exhale, so when you get to the exhale, drawing the navel back towards the spine. And then come to a neutral tabletop position, and we'll come up on our knees. Spin your right knee towards the back, and then extend your left leg out to the side. This is where it's nice to have your knees padded. And then ground your whole left foot onto the mat if that's possible. So an internal rotation of the thigh. And then if you have a block, you can have a block handy. And we'll bring our palm over towards the right. Maybe draw the left arm up towards the sky. And take some inhales and exhales. And bring that top arm forward, so right out in front of you, palm face down, and then bring the arm into the shoulder socket. So back your arm up. The head of the shoulder comes into the socket, and then inhale, sweep the arm up and overhead. Use your breath to open up the left side of the body. A couple more breaths. Working the core muscles here as well. And then bring the hand to the top hip. Press down through the palm of your right hand. And maybe start to lift the left leg up. Calling on those glute muscles. Flex the foot like you're pushing against a wall with that foot. And then again, maybe bringing the arm to the sky. Big breath in, get long through all 4 limbs. And then exhale, slowly lower the foot and sit yourself back up to stand on your right knee. Nice job. Now spin over to the front, hips square to the front of the mat, and sit yourself back for a variation of pigeon. So the knee's pointing forward and you're resting on the shin. And just take a breath here. When you're ready, come back up to hands and knees, and we'll sit up on our knees and sit up for the other side. So this time I have my left knee down, right leg extended. Outer edge of my right foot is in line with the back edge of the mat. First, get tall through the spine, rooting down through the pelvis, lifting up through the crown of the head. Reach the hands out to the side and then start to shift over to the left. Maybe finding a block or the mat there. You can also tent your fingers if that feels all right. And then reaching the top or the right arm up towards the sky. And then on the exhale again, think about those core muscles knitting in close together all across the torso, even into the back body. Use your breath. And then reach the hand out in front and bring the shoulder head into the socket before you reach the right arm overhead for a big long stretch on the right side. Nice. And then you can bring your hand to the hip and maybe lift the right leg up, extending out through the right heel. Maybe that right arm wants to lift up as well. A couple big breaths. Internally rotate the thigh of the right leg here so you're not splaying out. And then exhale, slowly lower down. And reach the right arm up and let that bring you over to come back to center. Nice job. Alright. Go ahead and sit back for a child's pose. And let's do some hip circles. So come forward and bring the hips around in one direction and then back towards child's. And then go the other direction. Nice. And then find neutral table. If you have a couple of blocks, put them at the front of your mat. And then tuck your toes. Again, rooting through the pads of the first finger and the thumbs as you push up. Hips lift towards the sky for a downward dog. And adjust your position as necessary and start to bend one knee, straighten the other, pedaling out the heels. Reaching the hips up towards the sky. Let the head be heavy. And then inhale, step your right foot forward. Drop the left knee. Untuck the toes. Maybe grab the blocks. Inhale, come up. We'll do a couple of pulses, so exhale, come forward. But notice, don't let your front knee come too far out beyond your ankle. Use your breath. Come back and forth. Actually going to grab my blanket and pad my knee again. And then inhale, sweep the hands to the sky. Exhale, bend the elbows and come into cactus arms. So I've got a 90-degree angle with my arms here. And from here, start to tip the elbows forward, giving yourself a gentle back bend. Imagine that your shoulder blades are reaching down and kind of creating a bowl for your heart to lift. Breathe into that back body, the back of the heart. Maybe lift the gaze if that feels all right. Take a couple of breaths. Good. Then come back up to neutral and plant the hands alongside the front foot. Tuck the back toe and then lift the back knee. So we're in a low runner's lunge. Front foot is bent. Again, knee not over the ankle. Push real strongly through the front heel. Internally rotate your back thigh as you inhale and reach the hands up to the sky for a high lunge. So we're up on the back ball of our foot. Inhale, get long. And then exhale, draw the elbows down again for cactus arms. Take an inhale, get long, and then exhale, we're going to twist over towards the right side. Just as far as you can go without compensating with your pelvis. So keep your hips square and let the twist come from the mid-thoracic spine, the middle of your spine. Use your core. Keep breathing. Good. On the next exhale, come back to center. And then maybe grab the blocks. Step your back foot in a step and straighten the leg, the front leg. So we're setting up for a pyramid here. Adjust your feet as necessary. So the back foot is at a 45-degree angle. And then inhale, we'll come up to stand. Let's set our hips up here. So we want to try and square the hips as best as possible. So again, think about internally rotating that back thigh and see if that brings your left hip forward a little bit in better alignment. Nice. And then press out through the outer edge of your back foot at the same time and then lift the left arm up to the sky. Big inhale, get tall. Exhale, keep that length in your spine as you reach forward just halfway. So we're just coming halfway. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, hinge at that hip, at your right hip as it draws back in space. So it's not a movement of the spine. It's just a hinge of the hip joint. One more time, exhale, come forward. Pause here for a breath. Lengthen out, and then exhale, maybe find your blocks or the ground or your shin or thigh, wherever you're at. Take a couple of breaths. Again, drawing the right hip back, the left hip forward. Use your breath. And then move your blocks aside if you have them. Come back onto the ball of your back foot and step your left foot forward for a forward fold. Hang your head. Maybe shake the head yes and no a couple of times. And then inhale, come up through a strong back. Push through the heels. Reach the hands to the sky. Exhale, palms touch. Draw the hands towards the heart center. Pause here in Tadasana. You can let your hands open up, palms face out. Feel yourself rooted down through all four corners of your feet. Heavy through the pelvis. Lengthening through the spine. Good. Inhale, sweep the hands up to the sky. And then exhale, sit back. So again, hinge at the hips. Back, moving back. your butt moving back is what I'm trying to say. Good. Reach your hands out in front of you, straight ahead. And then again, notice if you're overextending through the shoulders, and bring the shoulder heads back into their sockets. Take a breath. Maybe sit a little deeper. And then on exhale, straighten the legs, forward fold. Nice job. Inhale, we will step our right foot back and drop the right knee and come into a low lunge on the other side. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, a little pulse on the right hip. So use your breath. Just doing little pulses back and forth, but not going past, or not letting the knee go past the ankle. Nice. Then inhale, sweep the hands to the sky. Get long, and then exhale, cactus arms. And again, we'll point the elbows a little bit forward, tipping forward. Maybe opening up the chest for a gentle back bend. Again, imagine those shoulder blades really supporting the heart so that the strength is coming from the back body. Good. Inhale, come back up. Reach the hands to the sky. And then exhale, plant the hands. Tuck the back toe, straighten the right leg for a low runner's lunge. Draw the navel towards the spine. Core set the torso as you press through the front foot. Inhale, sweep the hands to the sky, high lunge. Reaching out through the heel of the back foot. Get long, and then exhale, cactus the arms. Take an inhale again, lengthen through the spine. Keep that length as you exhale and twist over towards the left. And letting the torso be the twist, not the hips. Hips are square. One more breath. And then exhale, sweep the hands to the sky. And then plant the hands. Step the back foot in a foot or two and straighten the leg. Can be at about a 45-degree angle, and then press to the outer edge of the back foot as you raise your torso up. Do any adjustments that you need when you get to stand here. And again, we're pressing to the outer edge of the back foot, internally rotating the back thigh to allow the hips to come more towards center. Inhale, reach the right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, keep the length in your spine as you hinge forward. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge. Stay here for a breath. And then on your next exhale, you can either grab the blocks or reach down wherever your hands reach. Stay for a few rounds of breath. Bring breath into the hamstrings. And when you're ready, come up onto the ball of your back foot, step your right foot forward, forward fold. Nice. Plant the hands. Step your left foot back. Step your right foot back. And come into plank position. Again, think about twisting a jar open with your hands. Press down through the pads of your fingers and your thumb. Take an inhale. And then exhale. Strongly push back for a table or a downward dog. Inhale, come forward, plank. Exhale, downward dog. Keep going. Inhale, come forward. Navel to the spine. Hips are lifted. Exhale, downward dog. And inhale, come forward. And then go ahead and slowly bring the knees to the mat. And then internally rotate your arms and slowly keeping the elbows drawing towards the center, lower head, chest, and hips to the mat. And then bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Slide your arms forward for Sphinx pose. Widening the hands on the mat. Energetically pull the elbows towards the hips, allowing a little bit of a deeper opening through the chest. Take some breaths. Be heavy with the pelvis and the pubic bone into the mat. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, push up through tabletop, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward dog. Inhale, sweep the right arm to the right foot to the sky. And then exhale, bring the right knee to your nose. Gently step the foot forward. Press down through the front heel, out through the back heel. Inhale, hands come to the sky, high lunge, hips are square. Take a breath. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, broaden through the collarbones. And then exhale, twist over towards the right. Here we are again. Option here to stay here, or maybe bring the hands to prayer, come forward, and rest your left elbow onto your knee. For a twist. Option to stay here, or maybe open up the arms and look towards the sky. Wherever you are, take a few breaths. Nice job. And then slowly unwind wherever you are. Plant the hands. Step the foot, half a foot forward. And grab your block if you have it and place it on the inside of your right foot. And then bring your left hand to the hip. And again, start to externally rotate the front thigh as you open up to the side. Back foot is at about a 45-degree angle. Take a breath here as your elbow draws back, shoulder opens, and get your hips right underneath you before you reach the hand to the sky. Here in triangle, you can imagine energetically drawing your feet towards each other on the mat. Give yourself a little pelvic lift. When you're ready, exhale. Slowly bring the left arm towards the mat. Come back onto the ball of your back foot. Nice job. And then step your your right foot back for a downward dog. Good job. Inhale, come into plank. Drop the knees. Lower the chest and the head. Hips. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, slowly roll down. Inhale, come through table. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips, downward dog. This time, inhale, sweep the left leg to the sky. Exhale, draw the left knee towards the nose, come forward, and then gently plant the left foot. Inhale, push through the front heel as you reach the hands to the sky, high lunge. Get long, and then exhale, cactus arms. Take an inhale here, get long, extend out through the back heel, and then exhale, twist over towards the left. Nice job. Option to stay here or place your hands in prayer and come forward and rest your right elbow onto your left knee. Option to stay here, maybe opening up the arms. Navel drawing in, allowing a little bit more space for the twist. Wherever you are, stay for a few breaths. Good. And then we'll come back to center and place your block on the inside of your front leg. Drop the back heel at 45-degree angle and straighten your front leg. Place your left hand on the block and start to roll your top hip back as your bottom hip rolls underneath you. Maybe adjusting your stance as you go. Might need a little bit wider. And then open your chest towards the right. You can bring your hand to the sky. Notice if you're dumping into the left hand and see if you can lighten that weight by really energetically squeezing the legs towards each other, allowing that to be where the power is coming from. Nice job. When you're ready, plant the front hands, come up onto the ball of your foot, and then step the left foot back for a plank. Here in plank, take an inhale, and then exhale, drop your heels, both heels, over towards the left, but keep your rib cage in straight alignment. And then inhale, come back to plank. Exhale, drop your heels over towards the right. Inhale, plank. Exhale, twist. Inhale, plank. Exhale, twist. Inhale, plank. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Nice job. Stay for a breath. And then slowly walk your feet forward to the front of your mat for a forward fold. Good. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, a little bend in the knee as you rise up, reach the hands to the sky. Palms touch, hands to heart center. Take a breath, ground down through the feet. We'll do a little playing with a little bit of a balance. So bring your weight over to the left, and then bring the sole of your right foot to the ankle, externally rotating the right leg. Maybe lifting the foot a little bit higher up than the inside of the left leg. Stay for a few rounds of breath. Maybe challenge yourself by closing your eyes. Maybe lifting the hands and raising the gaze. Maybe calling back that Ujjayi breath who might have left you a few rounds ago. And then when you're ready, slowly lower the foot back down to the mat. Come back onto both feet. Feel how nice it is to be stable. And then slowly shift over to the right side, and we'll bring the bottom of the foot to the inside of the right ankle. And when you're ready, you can lift the foot alongside the inside of the leg. Play around with closing your eyes or changing the place at which your gaze rests. Lifting the hands. Nice job. And then slowly lower the leg and come back into Tadasana. And again, feel even through both feet. A gentle bend of the knees. Shoulders relaxed. And then if you have a block, go ahead and place your block on the inside of your right foot as you step your left foot back. So about a pyramid distance, about a length of one of your legs. Back foot is at about a 45-degree angle. And again, internally rotate the back thigh so that these hips can come more towards the front edge of your mat, the short edge of your mat. Good. And use that outer edge of your back foot to really press into to get that same rotation. Nice. And then inhale, sweep the left arm up to the sky. Exhale, shift the weight forward. Maybe your hand finds the block or your thigh, or your shin or your thigh. If you're feeling up to it, you can place the block on the outside of your right foot and have your hand reach across your foot. So wherever you are, again, reestablish the hips, reestablish the feet. Lengthen out through the spine. And then maybe start to open up the chest towards the right side. So shoulder head reaches towards the ceiling. Get the core muscles engaged. Maybe the top arm lifts. We'll stay here for a few breaths, and while we're here, see if there's anywhere that you could soften. It's a big pose. Maybe it's in the knees. Maybe it's in the face. And then when you're ready, slowly unwind. Come up onto the ball of your back foot, and then just step your foot forward, forward fold. Nice job. Let your head hang here. Maybe place the elbows on the inside of your, the fists on the inside of your elbow crease. Just let your head hang. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. And then we'll step the right foot back this time. The block can be, again, either on the inside or the outside of the left foot. Come up to stand and adjust your stance. Maybe it needs to be wider or longer. Find what feels comfortable for you. And then draw the right hip forward by internally rotating the back thigh, pressing out through the outer edge of the back foot. Inhale, bring the right hand up overhead. And then exhale, with the length in your spine, come forward. And then find the block. Stay for a breath or two here. And then maybe draw the shoulder up towards the ceiling. Twisting through the thoracic spine. Maybe that left arm lifts. Wherever you are, keep breathing. Nice job. Slowly lower the left arm down. Come up onto the ball of your back foot. And then just simply step your right foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. And then hinge through the hips as you reach your torso and hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pause here in Tadasana. Maybe take a sigh. Nice. And then we're just going to come into a squat. So bring your legs out a little bit wider than hip distance and the toes pointing out a 45-degree angle. If you have a block, you might want a block nearby. Or if you have a blanket, you could roll up a blanket and put it under your heels to give yourself a little bit of a lift. Inhale, get long through the spine, reach the hands to the sky. And then exhale, we'll bend our knees and come down to sit in squat. And we'll stay here in squat for a few rounds of breath. Alternatively, if you have a block, you could stick it under your bum and use that as well. Maybe close the eyes and reconnect with those sit bones. Let them get heavy. Nice. And if you have a prop, you can move that aside and just simply sit back onto your bottom. We're going to come into a reverse plank. So sit back, have your hands behind you with the fingertips pointing towards your hips. And then we're going to do a reverse table. So feet are planted about the distance of what your table looks like. Root down through the sit bones, get long in the spine. And then inhale, push your hips up. And the knees are over the ankles again. Shoulders over the wrists. Maybe the head can lengthen, but if that is too much, then keep the chin tucked. Stay here for a few breaths and really lengthen through the hips
Imagine you have a block in between your thighs and squeeze the thighs together if they want to start to splay out. On your next exhale, slowly lower the hips back to the mat. Nice job. Ooh, let's do some wrist recovery. So go ahead and clasp the hands and do like a figure 8. And then go the other way. Nice. Shake them out a bit. And then if you have a blanket, you can come to place that under your hips. Then stretch your legs out long. If you have a block, I really like putting a block in between my feet here. Bring your toes towards your face. And just go ahead and plant your hands down beside you. Take a moment here, take a few rounds of breath. Establishing your sit bones. And lengthening through the spine. And then inhale, bring your hands to the sky. And exhale, draw the navel towards the spine as you extend forward. So we're not rounding through the back, we're keeping the spine lifted. So you might not come as far forward. But think about reaching your chest towards the toes rather than your head. Maybe your hands land on your shins or your thighs or your toes. Wherever you are, keep drawing the hips back. And use the breath to open up the hamstrings. Keep the chin tucked. Sometimes I like to lead with my chin. If you have that block in between, it's really nice to be able to keep it reestablishing the integrity of your feet. Good, and then come back up to sitting. And we can bring our legs out wide, so wide-legged. So bring your feet out to a V. And you can sit up on your blanket to roll your pelvis forward a bit. Flex the feet. Get long in the spine on the inhale. And then exhale, maybe come forward. If you have a block, you could rest your head or your forehead on the block, if that feels alright. Nice job. When you're ready, start to walk your fingers back up. And then bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh and internally rotate your left leg and bring the heel back toward your bum. So you're in a mermaid pose here. And again, establish your sit bones. Feel rooted through both sides. And then inhale, reach the hands to the sky. Exhale, we'll twist over towards the right, letting the hands drop wherever they fall. Again, the twist not coming from the hips, but through the spine. gaze follows on this twist. Nice, easy breath. And slowly unwind. And we'll come back into our wide-legged. And then this time bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Internally rotate the right foot and bring your foot behind you. Establish length first. Inhale, sweep the hands to the sky. And then exhale, twist over to the left. Deep, full breaths. And when you're ready, slowly unwind. Move the blanket out of the way if you have one. And then we'll come back to lying onto our backs. So plant the feet and slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Rest yourself on the mat. Place the hands palm side down. Just take a breath. Do a few bridge rolls here. So inhale, push through the heels, flatten out the low back. Then start to scoop the pelvis up towards the sky, lifting one vertebrae at a time. And then exhaling, slowly lower one vertebrae at a time. Land the sacrum. Find your natural arch of your low back. Take a breath. And then exhale, flatten out that low back. You scoop your pelvis up towards the sky. Initiating the full bridge roll. And then exhale, slowly lower down. One more time. Nice job. Go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. Grab hold of your knees and rock side to side. And then extend your feet up to the sky. Reach your arms up to the sky. And just pause here for a few breaths. Letting the blood and the lymph fluids drain out of your extremities back towards the heart, helping with circulation. And when you're ready, slowly lower lower the feet back towards the mat. And then the hands. And extend the legs out long. Go ahead and grab a blanket or an eye pillow, or you can place a pillow under your knees if that feels good. We'll move towards our final resting pose, Shavasana. So make sure you're nice and comfortable. And get your last fidgets out, adjustments, itches, wiggles. Have your palms face up towards the sky. Let your feet splay out however they naturally want. And then you give yourself permission to be completely still for the next few minutes. Let go of any breathing technique. And gently bring your awareness back to the room that you're in. In your mind's eye, imagine yourself lying on the floor. Slowly bring some movement back to your fingers and your toes. Gently waking yourself up. You can swallow or lick the lips. Take a deeper inhale and exhale.
Move slowly, gently. Eventually giving yourself a nice full body stretch. You can bring your knees up, plant your feet on the floor, and then go ahead and roll over to one side. Rest your head on the inside of your arm. And pause here for a moment. And when you're ready, slowly start to bring yourself back up to seated. And keep your eyes closed or your gaze low. And come into a gentle seat. And go ahead and bring your palms together. Anjali Mudra again. How we opened our practice with 3 sounds that make up the Om mantra. Now we're going to string them all together for 3 rounds of Ah, Oo, And exhale out all the breath. Inhale for chant. Thank you for practicing with me today. I bow to you in gratitude. Have a lovely rest of your day.